Hello, hello. What's up, world? What's up, Zion? It's Prince Easy coming at you again, as usual. And well, I do have a couple slides that I want to share with you this fine day that we're having today, right? So let's get to them. Now, that's come down to invoking, I don't know, Roman deities. Right? Where are the riots and the protests and stuff? Right? And the targeting of white people. Hmm?
When the Islamic warrior Saladin conquered the Crusaders and took control of Jerusalem, all right, he entered into an agreement that the
Fair use disclaimer for entertainment, educational, and review purposes.
Muslims would protect the Christian churches. And so he appointed two Muslim families. Some people think he deliberately chose two just to make sure one didn't get out of control and, kind of balance of power. Okay? The one family is Judah, and the other family is Nasabi. All right? And both of these families have been in Jerusalem for, close to 1,000 years. And each generation has passed down the key. The key. Right. The physical key. Mr. Judah said that the key he presently has is 800 years old.
And this is a Muslim. I mean,
Yes.
Antabi Judah is a Muslim. And he said it's a great honor for a Muslim to hold the key to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which is the most important church in Christendom. That's not disrespect.
We don't hear this in America. We don't hear it because what we have been told is Christian Americans, you should hate Muslims, you should kill Muslims.
Because they were going to tear down all the churches and basically just ransack them and everything else. But here we have two families that for nearly 1,000 years have actually been watching over
Yes, Christian church. That's right. So who planted into our minds here in America that we should hate and kill Muslims? Who planted that thought in our head? Because it came into our society after 9/11.
That's correct.
So 9/11 was a calculated, planned operation, and it changed everything in our country. And so we were saturated with media propaganda, which who owns the media in this country? So we're saturated with this media propaganda. You Americans, you need to hate Muslims. You need to go to war. You need to send your sons to go kill Muslims. All right? And yet, when you go to the Middle East, you find out that the Muslims, like Christians, are taking care of Christian churches.
Yes. Do not hold animosity against Christians or Americans, except in the case where Americans are pushing for war in their countries or trying to take their land.
So they've lived together. They've lived together for centuries and centuries. Jews, Christians, and Muslims have lived together for centuries. When the Islamic
Yeah, that's interesting history again. And well, I don't know, but I have a question. Is he, or rather, is she standing on the inside or the outside? The answer to that question. Okay? Poking at old wounds, I see. Well, Alexa, tia maji, they say. Huh? I hope it's not true that this was a targeted. Whoever genius came up with this. We shall circle back to this because there is more this time around. Yeah. Tribal. Wow. It's a tribal war out there, huh? Well, Nvidia is targeting China, not the other way around, right? Exporting chips that are weak, right? And you know that China is high tech. How can you provide weak chips and expect them to entertain such behavior? Well, I saw this one when it broke out, when this was recorded and stuff, you know. And I'm preparing to see what and what becomes of this. Of course, they don't come from space. Again, they come from the ocean. Remember that. Well, they might call this polarization, but it's not really. It's truth against lies. That's all it is. There are no poles here or anything of thought, right? Well, you synagogue of Satan, this is what you should expect, right? For all the things that I've just shown you and what you're doing now currently, right? Red lines. What red lines are they talking about? Huh? Basically, they are pointing fingers at everybody who attended. Of course, as he goes to court, he conveniently starts another operation, timely. And what are they saying? The people and the publications over there, they are calling it the march to the abyss. They are calling it the dark ages. They are entering the dark ages and the abyss. You need to see there, eh? And of course, this is the business forum. And here, contrary to the opinion of all professional sources, enter Gaza City in additional expected heavy prices, political international failure, big super Sparta, right? And of course, the last remark here, doesn't he remember that Sparta, which lived by the sword, by its sword, right? Now they're invoking biblical stuff, right? This is, if you live by the sword, you die by it. Okay. Eventually collapsed, right? This is another case, right? This fellow over here, right, shut up these three individuals here because she was interested in one of the two young ladies over there, and she showed no interest in him. So he went, I don't know where he went, and then just unalived those three individuals. And just around the same time, right? Just around the same time that yours beloved was taken from you. And all the blame now shifted towards black people for some reason. Receiving terrorist threats and all that. This is almost funny, but again, these are intelligent business people, right? And they made their money legit way, right? And this is what they surmise. So circling back to that whole issue, so they hit a port in Yemen, and then they blame China, and this is all about the BYD ship, isn't it? Because they have been denied access by sea, right? And this is their struggle now to at least negotiate, or rather gain leverage. And they were upset that the Chinese ship were not shot at, that ship that carrying cars to Europe, right? And this is a whole war, man. It's it's a whole war, right? Again, aimless attacks, literally aimless, right? But China is thrown into the fight. Why? Because I believe that in a best case scenario, one of the Chinese ships will get attacked, and they'll blame the Houthis or the Palestinians for that, so as they can quote unquote pressure, right? Because otherwise it will entail that the Yemenis are in bed with the Chinese, right? Trying to shift the narrative, right? This is about you sieging another group of people and another group of people coming in defense of them that are being besieged by you. These are the facts on the ground and on the reality, right? It's not about China arming Hamas. If they were, you would know. Of course, as usual, we expected this, believe it or not, but still, we came out. Again, they are turning around with the same narrative that they done played before, but this time they done throw in a TikTok up in there. And like I said, the AES was approached by Starlink, talking about giving them internet, and basically you're just providing cover for them, right? If you deny them access to your skies, then if you'd ask question to why some of their space balloons are in your airspace providing internet, so you see the problem to why you should not even agree them to fly their things. It's basically cover for any type of evil that they might try. Consider it as leverage of some sort, right? Well, TikTok is not going to be the same in America, believe me, you. I think that's a silent deal that was made. Well, I heard that it is called military diplomacy. Well, this is the red lines that was crossed or something. We shall see how this evolves. Just keeping things updated. Yeah, of course there's a link. Point of correction, it's not the most heinous crime in human history. Well, solar storm portal, how about that? There's a solar portal. Have you ever heard such a thing? Yeah, and we're all about against being erased.
33 Pennsylvania.
Again, fair use disclaimer.
Who have tested positive for COVID-19. Today we have 33 cases.
There were 33 new cases.
The state of Minnesota today reported 33 new COVID-19 related deaths. There are 33 confirmed cases in Arkansas.
That's the largest single-day increase so far, raising the total to 33.
33.
There were 33 confirmed cases in North Carolina.
33 everywhere. I think that was
left the sea to not understand this is going on. Yeah, that was green light go. We're off to the races. Yeah.
You've been subject to propaganda lies by people who are very well trained in how they do that. If you find one thing your government has said clearly not true, I ask you this. Why would you believe anything else they've told you?
Unpopular opinion. Being a man has to be one of the most difficult things in this.
Context. She is dating whatever, I don't know what you call them.
World, because when I hear some of the requests that women have and how they can contradict themselves, I get confused. It's like, I don't need you to be too sensitive, but how dare you not share your feelings and your emotions with me? I need you to be a good leader, but understand that I won't be following you and I won't be listening to you, and you can't lead me anywhere. But be a good leader. Be strong and show a level of vulnerability, but not too much, because then strength and vulnerability cannot coexist together, because now I'm gonna think that you're weak. I want you to be truthful and honest, but not too truthful to where you telling me the truth about me, and now I gotta feel some type of way towards you because you're supposed to be on my side at all points and times. Read my mind, but don't you dare assume that you know what I'm thinking. Meet my needs, even though I'm not gonna tell you what my needs are all the time, but I expect for you to just know somehow. Be financially stable, but make sure you have a whole bunch of time, even though it takes time to make money. Now, when you hear some of these requests out loud and you see how they contradict themselves, don't it sound silly? And wouldn't you be just as confused as he is?
Why did it take 33 hours? All of that is being triaged by the FBI because that's what we do. And the resources that the Attorney General has dedicated to this mission is allowing us to move at the speed we have. As you said, 33 hours. 33 hours, Sean. This individual was apprehended. And on the night...
Let me ask you. Because 33 hours, and I did mention Luigi Mangione, and I did mention the Sonor brothers in the Boston bombing, and I did talk about the Centennial Park bomber Eric Rudolph and Ted Kaczynski. 33 hours... 2 hours after the video footage was enhanced and released, the suspect's father turned him in. And you got criticized for doing that. And I'm having a hard time understanding what people's
Okay, all I'm gonna say is that I'm gonna find my spoon. Where's my... Okay, where's my spoon? That's all I'm gonna say, alright?
Sean, my expectation is delivered to the mission and the resources the men and women the FBI need and to produce. And that's what we did here. When you're talking about things like going out to a crime scene, that's how you investigate that matter properly. And when you're talking about...
Deja vu, right? 33 hours after the crime, 33 hours of prayer. At least they are consistent, right? Right? At least they're consistent, right? But again, my guy, you should stop playing with your nose. Okay, so what do we have here? We have the Empire fighting back, right? The Empire strikes back, right? Consider, they say, freedom. Of course, she say joint effort, they call it, right? And economic pressure. I don't know why those things exist in the same line, but again, right? And of course, the things that they are targeting, crypto. This is more like a China thing, right? Because when you say mining and crypto mining, you can, the next word that follows after that has to be China. Okay, banks, you have denied them banks. I don't know how far you're gonna go with this, but again, here we are. Energy, you're dependent, they're sovereign. Literally and metaphorically. So again, this is the Europeans fighting the Americans. Right now it's just a war. It's the word of war, eh? War of words, right? And of course, they are saying we are willing to compromise to speeding up the phasing out of Russian fossil imports. But first, the 19th package. Of course, this is from September 16th, 17th September, from the same people. And of course, I'm just wanna leave this out there for you to decide what is actually unfolding in front of you. Right? Again, in the words of the immortal, right? Please remember, never forget. Right? Again, YouTube is up to his shenanigans as usual. I don't know what happened between August 10th and 12th, somewhere in there this year, that made them do this. But again, there we are. So there's a lot of chaos happening, right? But again, we have to launch a pinpoint strike at the head of the Hydra, and that Hydra is their cult, right? It's their cult that are doing and planning all of this, right? And the only currency that is highly valuable these days is trust, right? Trust. That's the currency, because there are a lot of members of the Brotherhood, if you know what I'm saying, that are out there, right? Spreading their Talmudic sex change phenomenons out there, right? A lot of them. And some are waiting to be activated, right? To end, I had a very peculiar dream today. There I was sitting, and there I saw a guy hiding behind trees, a very familiar guy. And this particular guy kept on sending people my way. And the last guy he sent, he threw something close to me. And that guy went to pick it up. And I had a feeling that it was symbolic or something. But again, I gave that guy a hug, which I never do, rarely do. But again, maybe that is significant to someone. But anyway, Prince Easy signing out. Bye.